Christmas brought so much joy. Couldn't wait for the presents and laughter. I couldn't sleep late at night, looking for Santa with lights. Those are the memories I still remember. Then I became a man, lost sight of who I am. But right in front of me was the answer. 'Cause on Christmas I feel joy, and I turn back to a boy. The answer is to stay young forever. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song.
Hello, Star Wars fans. You know, there's 132 days until Christmas 2025. Oh, and this weekend, I'm actually going to a Santa school up in Northeast Ohio, a bit outside of Cleveland. It's in a town called Medina, and there's a place called Castle Noel, which is there. We're going to go visit that and just going to spend the weekend with a bunch of Santa Clauses, learning to be a better Santa Claus. But it's good to see you here today. It's Friday, and we're here to talk about the Star Wars news of the week. We have a bit of news to talk about, and but there's some concern, and there's a lot to celebrate. So we'll get into that. First, we got to get into Star Wars Fits. I know. Look, this past Wednesday, every Wednesday on this channel we have a members supporters meeting. So if you are one of our patrons or you're one of our YouTube members, every Wednesday about this time we get together and we just hang out. We talk about Star Wars news, we talk about the weather, we talk about whatever might be of interest. We even talk Superman movie and Fantastic Four, stuff like that. If you would like to support this channel, we do that to help. Thank you for your support, and also just to hang out as a community, to get to know each other a bit better. But Fitz was on unusually good behavior this last Wednesday, so he's making up for it today. You know, if you hold a sneeze in too long, eventually it's got to come out. So, Fitz, thank you for your support. Thanks for being here. Good to see you, my friend. And there's Nick. Hello, sir. Oh, good evening. I know for you guys over in the UK and Europe, England, Scotland, Ireland, all of those places, and further east, we actually have one of our supporters who comes from a good bit east of there, Eastern Europe. And I know it's getting into the evening. It's the weekend. The weekend. The workday is over. Skywalker's Academy. My good friend Dale. Merry Christmas. I'm off to a picnic at the park on HAFB. But I'll see you on the replay. Thank you so much, Skywalker's Academy. Thanks for being here. The Sabersmith. Hello. Good to see you. Love the Christmas shirt. This is actually an Ohio State shirt. It's a Hawaiian shirt. I'm going to be packing Christmas shirts for the weekend. So, let's see. Who else do we have here? Yes. Streamlabs. Thank you for that, Fitz. Our Discord. There's the link to join our Discord. Post pictures, stories, videos, all kinds of stuff there. We have discussions about all the nerdy kind of stuff. Brandon, hello there. Hope everyone's having an amazing day. Thank you, Brandon. And so I want to get into a few things. First of all, the HasLab, there's the gunship from. Let me actually pull this up so you guys can see what I'm talking about, just in case. I know you guys are all in the know, but we have a prequel era thing coming up. And let's see if I can share that. Oh, looky there. Oh, I was working with this before the stream. So the vintage collection, LAAT gunship, $450. So not a cheap price at all, right? But these are HasLabs. It's been the same price range for the Ghost, for my Razor Crest back here, for the Cantina, which should be shipping very soon, and now this vintage collection gunship. And you know what? Not a single HasLab or vintage collection has ever failed. And our prequel era folks are having a day. They're having they're having a day. Even Meg, my good friend Star Wars Meg, did a video on it this past week talking about the resurgence of demand for prequel era stuff. And she got into a discussion about toys, even. And she was kind of saying how sequel era toys are not in demand, but prequel era toys are doing much better. This would beg to differ because we've never had a HasLab fail for vintage collection ever. And this one is in trouble. This one is in big, big trouble. You can maybe see down here, it's got 3,300 backers, needs 8,000. There are 24 days left. For the other vintage collection things, we were already at or above. And in the case of the Razor Crest here, we were a good bit above the funding. We were unlocking tiers and everything. On this case, it's in trouble, trouble. And this is the first time you've had a true vintage collection scale gunship. And next year is a focus on vintage collection on the Battle of Geonosis. And they've announced that that's going to be the focus. There's some unlocked tiers here. We'll talk about them in a moment that include some of the figures that you would only get by backing this. And this gunship, I know there are other toy gunships. And one of the feedback things that vintage collectors have been talking about is, well, there are other gunships out there. We don't need this one. Oh, hold on, my friends. You do need it because those other ones are not at all scale. The vintage collection figures don't stand properly in them. If we look here, some of these pictures, there's the toy one. See this Republic gunship toy from more than a decade ago? It's much smaller. This hatch is one of the big problems here, and I'll show you. It comes with two pilots, and look at that. You can either have it in flight mode or landing mode. But let's get to some of these pictures because they show how the scale works for this, and they just simply don't exist for the toy version. First of all, you see this doorway right here? This doorway does not even exist on the toy. It's not there. There's no room for it. It's too small. Look, the pilots fit neatly within them. Now you can get the pilots in the toy version as well, but they are not at all to the right scale. The same with these turrets, the things that these bubbles out here, they are way oversized. Just so you can get a figure in there, they're oversized to the scale of the ship. Let's keep going. Look, there you go. You can start to see what the scale of vintage collection figures is within here. See how they can the stormtroopers. These aren't stormtroopers. They're clone troopers. You see how the clone troopers can stand in the toy version. The clone troopers, their head actually into the roof line here. You have to kind of squat them. You have to manipulate them to get them to stand in there. This is a fantastic vehicle. And our prequel era folks, you're going to be in trouble. Meg, if you're listening, Meg, if you're out there, you need to call your friends. Phone a friend, tell them to back this thing because our prequel era fans who are kind of strutting around like peacocks talking about how great the fandom is around the prequel era, they're not standing up. They're they're not backing this thing to the degree that it needs backed. And if they put the money where their mouth is, you enjoy the prequel era, you want to have all this stuff for your Battle of Geonosis collection, you better get on it. Or Santa, for one, is going to give you all, you prequel fans, Santa's going to give you a hard time. Because this thing is perfect for our prequel era fans. Like, you got 3 different logos you can put on the side of it. One that doesn't have any kind of logo. This one's got Walkie and Monkey Lizard, right? So you've got 3 different. The turrets are posable. The toy one, not posable. You can't change them like that. And there's your different stands. So you guys, prequel era fans, I don't know what you're doing. I do not know what you're doing. You've got to get on this. It's less than half, and there's just 24 days left. And look, I see the comment, Sabersmith. It looks great. Not my price range. I understand that too. $450 is not, and that's US. Right? Many of you in the UK, that there's a bit of a conversion issue, but $450 is quite the spend. But my point, it still stands that with the other HasLab projects, they have all funded, fully funded, and they were and more, fully funded and more, and they were above $300 as well, $350, $450. This is not at all unusual for HasLab projects. Every other one has passed. Every other one has funded. The Razor Crest back here. Everything else did great. You found buyers for those. Where are your prequel fans? Where are you? Where are you, prequel fans? You're not showing up. You're strutting around like you're all that. But if you don't fund this thing and it fails, shame on you. Shame on you. So there you go. Yeah. Fits. If they reduce the price to 50 euros, then you're in. You can't do it at that price. Sabersmith saying that he's like, yeah, that's it. Look, I understand. I get it. But people bought this thing. People bought the Ghost. People bought the Jabba sail barge. And people bought the Cantina. They're all expensive too. And they bought more than the funding level, more than 8,000, more than 12,000 on these other projects. And this one has less than 4. If you're going to buy one, you've got the funding to buy these kind of things. Where are you? I understand they're high priced, very, very high priced. These are not for the faint of heart. So there you have it. That's enough. That's enough. Hey, there's other stuff. One of the things that I am super excited for. Oh, by the way, I know that I put a poll in the chat that said, if you could have, which would you prefer? Right. So let me take a look at that, because I want to get the question. I said, if you could get a new season of The Mandalorian, that's 3x3 Andor style. So you get 3 episodes a week. The 3 episodes are movie length, so at least an hour and a half per week. You can get a new season of The Mandalorian, Andor style, or you can get a Mando Grogu trilogy. Which would you prefer? Now, there's pros and cons of both sides of that, right? The wonderful thing about like Disney Plus releases is we get to do this. We get to have YouTube videos. We get to talk about it. We get to speculate about it. We get to dig into the content, and we can do watch parties. We can do all kinds of stuff like that. You can. It's great for community building. It's great for just this kind of fun Star Wars discussion. Disney Plus is great for that. The weekly releases of content, even if they were to spread it out, sort of like they've been doing on Netflix and stuff, where they put space between each. So let's say they release 3 and then they wait 2 or 3 weeks and they release another 3. right? But every time they release 3 in a row. That would be great. That would be great. However, let's flip it over. The trilogy version, the trilogy option says, hey, you can go to a theater, you can watch all of it in one city with a room full of people who are also Star Wars fans enjoying it. You get that community experience of hearing people laugh and clap and cheer and all of those things together, and you can enjoy that kind of thing with a group of folks. There's a lot to be said for that. Not only that, but also the revenue. People going to the theater, they get that box office return. It's a way to pay for the projects. That's very easy to track. Like how many people bought a ticket versus how many subscribers watched or how many new subscribers did they get, and all of that kind of stuff that's really hard to nail down. Plus, they don't share those numbers in a meaningful way that allow us, you and me, to know what's been successful, what hasn't. So, which would you prefer? A 9-episode season of Mandalorian season 4, or a Mando Grogu trilogy? And I put it this way so that you had to choose. Look, all of us, I think, would prefer both. Give me both. I'll take a Mando Grogu trilogy and give me a Disney Plus series. I don't give you that option. Plus, let's be real. I don't think they're going to have more live action series following Ahsoka season 2. So it's all hypothetical anyway. So then the third option is neither. The story's played out. Not for me. Mando Grogu, it had its moment. Let's move on. That's sort of the third option. So let me know your thoughts, and we'll keep that poll open as we go through the show. Jedi Geek, hello. I'm doing quite well. Good to see you. Thanks for coming here. Thanks for joining the chat. I appreciate it. I would say 3 episode arcs, but let me see what happens with the Mando movie. Let's wait until after the movie before we talk. So we'll come back to this question later once we have a little more information. So that's the fun part. And that question came out of our weekly supporters meeting where we get together, we talk for an hour or two or whatever. And as we do that, topics bubble up. And this was a topic that came out of our Wednesday discussion. So if you'd like to participate, we'd love to see you there. Join as one of our supporters on Patreon. That's the best way to do it. Or become a member here on YouTube. That works great as well. Whichever works for you. Of course, Patreon helps the content creator more than YouTube, but both are very, very helpful. Do you think we'll get more Kenobi? I do not expect any Kenobi anytime soon. If we get another Kenobi, I think it'll be in the form of a box office release, a movie, typical or similar to Mando Grogu. I would expect it to go that way versus getting another season of like Kenobi season 1. I would also say be careful with what you wish for because the Kenobi season 2 is very likely to be a continuation of Kenobi season 1. If you did not like Kenobi season 1, I would guess that you're not going to like Kenobi season 2. Should they make it, right? Cara Dune coming back, or could we get the resurgence of other canceled shows? I don't see the budget being viable to make live action Star Wars at this point. I just don't see it. I don't think we're going to get, as I've said repeatedly, I think after Ahsoka season 2, we might not get another live action Star Wars series for a long, long time. They have got to figure out the budgeting. We've seen some of the things about the budget for Andor season 2, the budget for the Acolyte, these budgets to make these series, and I haven't seen the Ahsoka budget yet. I imagine it's out there. I just haven't looked it up. I'll bet it's not cheap, right? It's going to be a little bit less because they're using a lot of the assets they had from Ahsoka season 1, The Mandalorian. But uh, I just I don't see it. I really don't. Um, so I do, and do I think we'll see Cara Dune anytime soon? I do not. The best chance would be Ahsoka season 2, as I mentioned last week, and then after that, Dave's movie. You got to think about something set in the Mando era, and it would have to be either a new live action show, a spin off like the Rangers of the New Republic, which I do not expect to see, or she'll have to show up in something that's already announced, which Ahsoka season 2, they're already shooting over in UK, and then Dave's movie. And Dave's movie doesn't even have a release date yet. So that's years off. I think that's the best chance to see Cara Dune. Probably not before then. Do you think Sean Levy trilogy will be episodes 10, 11, and 12? Maybe. I don't know that they would label them as such. Fans may see them that way. But I think the Skywalker saga involving more or less Anakin and Palpatine has concluded, right? So Anakin passed, his lineage passed, the legacy of Anakin is come to its end. There is no natural uh, um, successor to that bloodline. You could say Rey is to some degree because some of her DNA could come from Luke's hand, which her dad was Grandcast, made from Palpatine and Luke's hand. So there may be some Palpatine, and there is some Palpatine blood in Rey for sure, but there could be some actual Luke Skywalker, Anakin Skywalker DNA in her as well. I do not see Rey as being the continuance of that saga. That saga has come to an end with the Palpatine being finally destroyed. I think if we start a new saga, it'll have a new number. It'll be episode 1. It'll be the whatever saga, episode 1. And then we'll take it from there. So I do not think it would be 10, 11, and 12. What do you think is going to be announced at D23 later this month? That's a good question. And I saw Mike over at a guy who loves Star Wars. He talked about this a lot yesterday, and I thought about talking about it today. But then I was like, you know what? There are other things to do today. I will hold off until we get closer to D23. I saw the schedule that Mike shared. So if you're unfamiliar with this, go look up a guy who loves Star Wars and watch the show from yesterday, right? From August 14th. And he talks about it a lot. He speculates about it a lot. Do you think there will be the Mando Grogu trailer released? I do not think it'll be widely released like on YouTube or StarWars.com. I don't expect it at all. Typically, those theatrical trailers come much closer to a release date, and the release date isn't until well into 2026. Not like a February release for the Mando Grogu movie, right? So I don't think we will see that released until next year, 2026. I think they very well could announce some other shows, other movies. It seems like there's a big push on the theatrical side of things, so I would maybe see something there. Could Kara still do Rangers of the New Republic in animation? Oh, as a voice actress? Perhaps. Fitz is definitely trying to stay on the naughty list. I could appreciate that, Fitz. Do you think they'll bring back the Acolyte or find way? Oh, good. I appreciate you asking the question because it was on my list of topics to discuss today. I am reading the novels. I read a lot of Star Wars books. I read the last Acolyte book that involved Vernestra Rowe and what's her name? The other lady that was in the show, Acolyte. Who you guys may remember it before my brain works that out. I read that book, and it was Indara. Thank you, Sabersmith. Yes, Indara. So I read that book. That book was a little awkward because it kept changing voices. Um, for instance, the one chapter you would read and it would say, then Indara did this and Venestra did that, and Venestra went in and saw so and so, and then this stuff happened, and then so it would be like in third person voice. The very next chapter would read, I would did this and I did that and I did this other thing. Then I went in and I saw this and I went in and did that. Right? Went to first person. And so you went to like, okay, who is I? Typically it was Vernestra when it did that, but it was confusing and it was awkward because it kept flipping back and forth the voices. It didn't make sense. Like, are you reading this story told from Vernestra's standpoint? Well, sometimes not. And the book didn't really accomplish a whole lot when you start to talk about like the Acolyte's backstory and what all went on with that. It kind of developed some of the characters just a little bit, but overall, not a ton. I'm currently reading the newest Acolyte book, and that book has been a little interesting. It's called Crystal Crown. That book is about Yord and Jecki, and I'm about 40% into that book, and I'll tell you that not a lot's happening as far as like anything of consequence. There's a great story there with Jecki and Yord. They're going to this planet. They're competing in some sort of their physical challenges, and there's like challenge after challenge. If you pass, you go to the next round, kind of thing. And the two of them are keep passing the trials, and so there's fewer and fewer contestants, and they're trying to defeat each other. They're quite physical. Involve sometimes like hospitalization kind of wounds and stuff, but they're competing in this stuff. There's no like villain. There's no bad guy to chase. There's not really a MacGuffin involved where they're like going after something, trying to accomplish something. It's just moving on to the next round of these trials. Interesting, but also not doing a whole lot. Tells you about the characters, but I would be really curious to see the story continued, right? Do you think we'll still get Dawn of the Jedi? Maybe, maybe. Not anytime soon. The tales for Indara and Soul, fantastic character. I would like to see those carried forward. I'd really like to see what happens after Acolyte season 1, because they've canceled the series. And again, budgets are just way out of hand. I would love to see where the story goes from there. Will we see CGI Luke return in the future? I don't know about CGI Luke. Let me say this. I should take that back instantly. Yes, 100%. Dave's movie will 100% have Luke Skywalker in it, and it will be, I don't know if it's CGI Luke or de-aged or AI Luke. Will definitely have one form of live action Luke Skywalker again in this story arc. Tales of the Sith. Yeah, there'll be more. The book isn't on Audible. It'll be coming out, I think, next month. I think it didn't come out until September. More animated Ahsoka. With you might get a little bit of that in this Maul series. More likely, Something they could announce at D23. Could they make more Clone Wars arcs? They've never done. They could. I think. Look, if they don't back this, if they don't back this gunship, I want the prequel era folks and our Clone Wars era folks to just shush. Take a seat, my friends. Take a seat. We've seen lots of that in the past, and you guys won't back this, then it's on you. All right, more Star Wars stuff to talk about. How I like the Rebuild the Galaxy, the Lego series. I love the Dark Millennium Falcon. That thing is fantastic. Almost bought one at the Lego store, but look, it's almost $200 US to buy that Lego ship. I saw that some places had it on sale at Walmart for $100 off. You could get it for under $100 at some Walmarts. Went out to my Walmart app and I searched for it. Oh no, no, oh no! It's on sale, but still over right around $150 US. And I was like, nope, under 100, yep, but no, not that. So let's get into this trailer. I like to do this. So let's play this trailer here. The audio isn't feeding through here for me. You guys have probably seen it anyway. I will just turn on the closed captioning to be able to read along. We'll stop it along the way. But I love this. There's the Lego. We've got like Jaina from, is that, no, not Jaina. What was her name from The Rise of Skywalker? She helped out with Finn and the group right there. Then I can't make this guy out with the droid. And of course, it says, we're all back. And then you see this wave going out. This is where everything, kind of the whole universe changed, right? All of the walkers turned into, look, we got Dark Ray. We got Darth Vader turned into the white armor. He's a good guy, not a bad guy. There's no, not Rose Tico. That's not Rose Tico. That was the lady that they found on the planet where Ray got the she used the knife to find the way seeker. There, that girl. That's who this is. Yeah. Says, I find your abundance of faith. This is Darth Vader speaking here. It says, find your abundance of faith encouraging. And then it turns out, I like this new galaxy. I like it too. What do you guys, you like the Lego Star Wars, the Rebuild the Galaxy, where everything is flipped? Vader's good, Rey's bad, good guys are bad guys are good guys. Do you like it? Do you like the Dark Falcon? I would love to get that Lego set and put it together. Wow. I love it. Look, even Darth Maul there wearing, right? He's a good guy. He's a good guy. It's great. I just love this series. There goes Maul. He gets taken through there. Palpatine. I've spent. Well, this isn't Palpatine. This is the reverse, like whatever he would have, and he has a different name in this. Power to unmake the galaxy once and for all. And they put a list out of all the voice actors, and this is just amazing. You're going to see things like Daisy Ridley fired, because they use a different actress to voice Dark Ray other than Daisy Ridley. There's a John Boyega, cut from Star Wars. All that kind of nonsense, because people got to make YouTube videos. And then so 1 second. Every brick. Oh, look, they found a baby Yoda. I've already seen this too, right? We found a baby Yoda. Wait, hold on. Where is it back here? But we found a baby Yoda. They're leaning into this term that people have said. It's baby Yoda. Of course, it's Grogu. It says, we found a baby Yoda. And then our Lando Calrissian is Mandalorian. Lando Lorian says, baby's name is Grogu, baby. And then, look at all this. We got Padme from the prequel. There's R2. Grievous is back there. There's our Landalorian with Grogu. Everybody, this is great. It's just great. They're all the good guys, right? There's a giant Chewbacca, like and a giant Ahsoka. There's the gunship. The gunship's down. A bunch of B1s. It's great. I'm looking forward to it. I'm very, very excited to it. And then to see it. And this comes out in September. Again, a long list of characters. Like the purple sabers with our Palpatine guy. Right there. You like that? Not red sabers, purple sabers. It's good stuff. All good stuff. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it. I'm really, I hit the wrong button. There we go. Yeah, Jana. That's it. Thanks, Fitz. That's it. Flying porgs. They fly now. How long do you think it took to make a Lego short? Probably not too awful long, because they just pulled pieces from the actual show. So, probably not a lot. I want them all minifig. Yeah. The white Vader minifig looks great. They do. They look fantastic. So there's that. Another story that's making its rounds this week as we cover the news of the week is this Ron Howard. Ron Howard did an interview and they got to talk about Solo. And I've seen all kinds of titles where it says George Lucas's advice to Ron Howard. I put that in the thumbnail, the description of the show even. Let's read this story together. It's pretty good. It says, Ron Howard says the Solo creative clash is still just a shame. Lucasfilm blamed tonal disconnect with original directors, but some of their footage was great. Again, this is just a little bit of clickbait. Jedi Geek, Solo 2 one day. Well, Solo 2 is really the continuation of, it's that Maul series, right? The Maul animated series is going to pick up basically where Solo left off. And I can see I need to put the text thing on this view you all have here. But let's get in. It says there's some pictures there, right? It says Ron Howard opened up with Vulture in more detail than ever before about taking over the helm of Star Wars Solo after Lucasfilm directors Lord and Miller had creative differences. Howard said it all came down to the movie's tone. Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy asked him, Ron, to launch a meeting, to a lunch meeting where they were joined by Jonathan Kasdan, the writer. They basically said, we've reached a creative impasse with Lord Miller. Would you ever consider coming in? And Howard responds, I looked at some of the edited footage and I saw what was bothering them. This is interesting, right? So he can see the tonal issue right off the bat. They're saying, we don't like the tonal issue. He saw some of the footage. He's like, I see what you're talking about, right? Because there was a studio that liked the script the way that it was and wanted a Star Wars movie, but there was a disconnect early on tonality, tonally, and they weren't convinced that Lord and Miller were doing was going to work effectively. So the script was fine. It's just their take on it, the directing of it. So Jonathan Kasdan's writing it. He's co-writer. Lord Miller, the way they were directing it was just not the tonal message that they wanted for the movie. And then it goes on and says, I couldn't judge because I didn't see enough of it to know, but they were sure, they being Disney and Kasdan. Once I said, okay, I think I could do this script, and I think I understand what you want, they said, we'd want to reshoot a lot, which we saw. When you watch Solo, you see a lot of it is darkened way down. You can see there's instances where they're like riding inside of this bigger building structure, and you can look out and see that there's sunlight outside, but when they go outside, it's dark because they turned down the lighting to help splice in these reshoots with the original to help them all blend in and meet that tonality that they were looking for, right? It looks like Lord Miller's version was a lot lighter than Ron Howard ended up making, right? He said, I looked at the whole movie and then pointed out some things that I thought were great. And Phil and Chris were incredibly gracious through that process. So he actually worked with Lord and Miller, right, as they went through it. He says they were just seeing two different movies. So I came in, I had a blast, but there's nothing personal. It's still just a shame. I can't wait for Phil and Chris's next movie. So look, there's no animosity between them. Lord and Miller aren't upset because Ron went in and reshot stuff and edited their movie. They just said we couldn't do what Lucasfilm wanted us to do tonally, right? So there it is. It says Howard even got the chance to consult with creator George Lucas, who was not involved in the development of filming Solo. So be clear, not like Ron went with the scripts and said, "Hey, help me out here," and walked through it and got George to like write in the margins and give him feedback. That's not it. He said before he committed to taking over Solo, he got advice from Lucas. I should go back and say, if you've ever watched some of the interviews that Ron Howard's daughter, right? You know who she is, right? Bryce Dallas Howard is Ron Howard's daughter. Ron hung out with George Lucas back in the day. And Bryce Dallas Howard talks about going to summer camp and things, and she would go over to George's house, and like they hung out together. They knew each other. So Ron just, at the barbecue, they were cooking hot dogs in the backyard or whatever, right? He says, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing this. Can you give me some advice?" George Lucas says, don't forget, for 12-year-old boys." I'm going to stop here just a moment because this comment George has said over and over and over again. And it's something that you'll hear even, oh shoot, I just forgot his name. I said his name just a second ago. Dave Filoni. Right? Dave Filoni will even say that George kept telling him this, right? Don't forget, it's target audience is 12-year-old boys. Does that mean Star Wars is made for children? Is it a kids movie? Are they kids movies? No, they're bigger than that, right? Star Wars movies aren't just kids movies. They're much, much bigger than that. We go further. It says Solo was supposed to launch a new sector of storytelling for Star Wars, with young iterations of Han Solo, Lando being involved, and intended for sequels and spin-offs, which I think we're getting in this Maul series, the animated series. This is definitely a spin-off from Solo, right? But it was supposed to have a lot more. The 2018 film revealed Maul from The Phantom Menace was still alive. I want to know, how many of you had people approach you after this movie and say, "Wait, when did this movie happen? Maul's dead. Did this happen before The Phantom Menace?" I don't understand that, because how is Han Solo all like, this doesn't make sense to me. How is Maul there? Help me out. Explain it to me. Use simple terms. So I had to explain to some of my friends, people who asked me these questions. Oh, well, Maul died and he was cut in half, and then you know what? He didn't die. He came back. He had spider legs for a while, and then fake legs, and those were improved upon, and then he's alive. He never truly died fully, right? So he survived. This is after the prequels and so on, right? Fitz says, I told a friend it was after his death and caused all sorts of argument. Yeah, it'll do that, right? So, this is going to pick up, right? We're going to get Maul. Says none of the plans take shape after it bombed at the box office. Was just 392 million worldwide. It lost money, right? That's a popular quote. Would it have lost money had they done it with the original budget? It would have been more like a break even, right? And then during an appearance on Happy, Sad, and Confused podcast in 2019, that's 6 years ago, Howard called the response to the film disappointing. That it made a lot of money, it just didn't live up to expectations. Well, it didn't make a lot of money. It still lost money compared to the budget with all the reshoots. That I came in eager to help, felt like I could help, and had a blast. Normally it takes 3 years. He just worked on it 8 months. So I feel very good about the way it turned out. I love the way it played to audiences, which I witnessed. So he did it to some audience screenings and got to see how they responded. That all of that I am able to feel good about. And then he cited nostalgia as a reason Solo might have bombed. And I've kind of touched base on this before. It is tough to replace Harrison Ford, right? They have problems with that with Indiana Jones and Indiana Jones's backstory, origin stories, right? Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. And then you try to replace him in Solo, and it was a tough sell. I think Alden Ehrenreich did a great job of it, but yeah, tough sell. Jedi Geek, are they working on 9, 10 movies in total now? How many of these do you think will actually be made? Great question. It's a fantastic question. I appreciate it. Half. I would say about half of them will be made. This is the way it normally works with studios. And studios buy rights to make movies and they start working on them. They write scripts. Sometimes they even go to start to film. Yeah. Oh, wait. Did I have somebody in my chat or my? Did I just miss it? I had a queue and then the queue went away. Was somebody here and I missed them? Was it Matt Risbin? Was it you? Who was it? Somebody, was it Meg? Were you here? I don't know who was here, but I missed it. Sorry about that. I wasn't looking. I'm looking now. So if you want to come back into the stream, just join. I'll watch closer if I see you. So there you go. Studios all the time. Sometimes they even start production filming and then they pull the plug just because things change. So I think we'll get all 9 or 10 movies? No, of the ones announced, we'll probably get about half, and then they'll announce a bunch of others, which they may even do at D23 here. Right? They'll announce a bunch of others, and then of those, again, about half. Half of those will get made over the course of time. Yeah, we'll get 9 or 10 movies, but probably not these 9 or 10 that we have. Oh, Bespin, it was me. Well, join back in, my friend. Please join back in. I'm watching now. I see you. I haven't got to talk to my friend Bessie in a long time. So I'm looking. While we see if Bespin can join us again, let me bring up. I want to share some stuff. This last weekend, I went with a couple of friends of mine to a thing called Unofficial Galaxies. It's a big collection. It's a private collection of Star Wars memorabilia. Some of this stuff is 3D printed. It's all made by fans. Like this as R2 and 3PO. Those aren't actual pieces from the movies. It's a fan made, right? So I went to this Unofficial Galaxies, and I'll just share these pictures. They have these things. We were entertained when we were there. We saw this. They got the land speeder, and they've got some Ewoks. If you look behind the land speeder down here on the ground, there's Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru. Oh no, that's kind of harsh. You put that right there. It was hilarious. You had to look for it. You had to kind of go past it and look back behind, because if you were standing in front, you didn't see it at all. And you read about the Jawas and Obi-Wan Kenobi and stuff like that. But this is all fan made. There were some actual props from the movies that used on screen. So here's like Anakin's desk and chair from the Phantom Menace. That was there. original screen use prop. Anakin's, it's a nice 70s style chair. Here he is, the one and only. Let me go back to here and pull this up. Bessie, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. I'm alive. How are you?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Is it not working?
I do not hear Bespin. You guys hear Bespin? Is it just me? Tell me in the chat. Can you hear Bespin?
It says it's working on my end.
Okay, you guys hear Bespin. I can't hear Bespin. Okay, so all of you here, hold on one second. Bespin, hold on one second here. Let me go to my audio settings and see if I can. Okay, what about now?
Hopefully you can.
What about now?
You're very quiet for me now.
A nice echo feedback. Why could I not hear Bespin? This is me. Hold on one second. I know one other thing I can do. Hold on. Here's the problem. Bespin, now talk.
Can you hear me now?
Eureka!
There it is. Yeah.
I can hear you. Look, I took down I moved upstairs to my wife's office for work, and I took a monitor up there, took a computer up there, and then I took everything apart down here yesterday. Took everything, all the cables, everything. We cleaned, we put things back together, and when I put it back together, apparently not everything got put back.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah. How you been, my friend?
I'm good. Yeah. Just been on a unplanned hiatus, I suppose. So,
well, you and Jason, but I've been texting Jason from time to time. You're probably in more contact with him than I am, because I know you two play games together, and you're chatting during those. But I've been texting with Jason and sharing stuff with him, and I know he's alive. I know he's out there. He texts me from time to time, but it's good to see you. What's up?
Nothing. I just thought I'd come on and kick it with you for a little bit once I had some free time.
I love it.
Haven't got to speak with you in a while. Obviously, I haven't been that active, so I was like, well, let's just go and hang with Santa for a little bit. Yeah, and Jason's good. He's happy. He's doing his thing.
Yeah. So, he's got himself a job. He's working. He's hanging with the kids, dealing with daily life just as a human being, which is good, right? It's great.
Yeah. I think people have like these weird conspiracy theories and stuff. I get like odd messages sometimes. He's just for him, like, I don't think he minds me saying, but he's just, he's away from socials and away from the internet in a major way, and just focusing on his life. So
yeah, he told me
he's happy for it. So.
Yeah, he told me when he was getting ready to do this why he was doing that.
Yeah,
and it makes sense, right? It's nothing nefarious. He's not ill. He's not like in a bad place.
No.
It's all good. It's just that his focus has changed, and he's now with his job and his kids. Social's not the place to be. And I'll tell you something else, Bestman. I was thinking about this the other day. Twitter is a terrible place to hang out.
Yeah, it is. I barely use it.
It is absolutely not the place to get your idea of how the fandom is about other people. It's the worst gauge of humanity you can find. It's absolutely. I encourage people to go. The term, go touch grass, get away from the computer, go outside, live your life, right? Meet with other people.
Well, Yeah, I'd agree. You and I, and we've had conversations about this in the past, like various times, where like there's days that social media and parts of the fandom can like really bring you down, and the best thing to do is just to create your own little bubble of like people you get along with, people you enjoy spending time with, online, offline, whichever, um, and just living it, existing in that bubble, because it can get so toxic on both sides. You
Yes.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
lot of people will blame one side, but in reality, it's both.
It is.
And I've had it. I've had abuse and stuff from both sides. It's not, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yeah.
no. So I think, with Star Wars, it can the fandom can get a bit much.
It's funny.
Um,
I talked to my wife about this issue
mhm.
just the other day, right? And um, I think no, it was on our Wednesday supporters meeting, right? Yeah, and I think it was Fitz that mentioned it. Said, "Hey, you have to remember, this is fiction, right? This isn't real. Star Wars isn't real.
Right.
There are bigger problems in the world. People have cancer. People are dying. There are wars. There's famine. There's terrible, terrible things in the world that are really bad and worth getting upset about. Star Wars is not one of those things.
No, like I said, I think you can be passionate about something, but I think it's when you conduct yourself online, is a way to do it. Um, you
Yeah.
can get excited, you can get disappointed with a project or whichever in regards to Star Wars, but like you said, there's other real things going on. But if you find joy in Star Wars, then embrace it.
Yeah.
Especially in some of the times we're in. But it can also get too much. So I think that's why you see Jason's not around. I'm sort of around, but not really, or I've taken a bit of a break.
Yeah.
Um, but again,
Good.
that was sort of unplanned. I'd been thinking about like doing less, but then
Yeah.
like some things happened, like in my personal life. So I was like, got to deal with that first.
Yep.
So that sort
Yep.
of took precedent, and then again, nothing nefarious. I see like people again the conspiracy theories of like, oh, they took him down, like and stuff like that. No, it
The
was
mouse.
just
They found where he lives. They
yeah, like there's just I don't know, it was silly. But
um
no,
there's a question here that somebody wanted to know. What do you think might be announced at D23 this month for Star Wars?
isn't this D23 just the Parks one?
Yeah,
Because there's two different ones, right? There's the Parks one, and there's the big like.
there is. This is the big one. There's already an agenda out for it, like what it's going to include, and the studios are a big part of it. And there's an image where they have like big, movie announcements from our
Mm,
studios, and it's got Star Wars, Marvel, Pixar, Disney. Um, so
yeah, I
people are
didn't.
speculating what could these announcements be? Um,
I think with Star Wars, this wouldn't be much because we know like pretty much the vast majority of things they're working on. Um, I think you're seeing them gather, ducks in order now because there was a report from um, Nexus Point News few weeks ago, right, which was about the code names for certain productions.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I can tell you right now that uh, the what's called the Starfighter one is not called that anymore.
Oh,
It's not called Kyber Mist or whatever it's called.
right.
It's as far as I know, it's called Kit Bash.
Kit bash.
Yeah, I think so.
Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know what a kit bash is, right? So a kit bash is where you would take like Star Wars figures and maybe take the head and um, the clothing and stuff for that Star Wars figure, and then maybe go get like a GI Joe figure, right? And you would take the head and stuff off of it, and you'd replace the head of the Star Wars figure onto it, and you'd create a character that maybe is more aesthetically accurate
Mhm.
than the released one. So that's called a kit bash. right? That's
Mm.
what that is.
Sometimes these code names can give you a bit of an insight into the show or the
Yeah.
production or the movie, because if you look at Kenobi was called Joshua Tree,
Yeah.
Skeleton Crew was Grammar Rodeo, Andor was Pilgrim. So you can see how they would relate to those shows. Like, Ahsoka was Stormcrow. Again, it's a Lord of the Rings Gandalf reference. So,
Yeah.
and then I think I reported before the new Ahsoka season is called Firebird, or at least it was.
Okay. Giving you the image of a phoenix, right? Rising from
Yeah.
the ashes. Yeah.
So I think Kaiba Mist might have been the name, but like I got told that it's called Kit Bash.
Interesting.
Maybe that's what they changed it to, but I don't know. And yeah,
You know what it might refer to is those
mhm,
images of that starfighter that we saw on the stage.
yeah,
I know you've seen them, right?
mhm,
Those images might be the kit bash, right? That
yeah,
starfighter, that vehicle is a kit bash between this ship and that ship that they've merged together.
mhm,
Right? That makes
yeah.
sense.
And then but again, we had a production name for Taika's movie, which is really odd because you don't usually get a production name that comes out. You'll get the company name, right? So
Yeah.
Andor was E&D Industries, and that was a company name they had for a long time, and it was rumored that might have been Benioff and Weiss's uh, company name, like for when they were going to do their Star Wars stuff.
Mhm.
Um, you know, uh, so that coming out is usually earlier, but to get a production name it might indicate that it's a bit sooner. So if you remember to Celebration, Taika's was one of the names that Kathy mentioned on stage specifically.
Oh,
So maybe that's something, because we haven't had it for any of the others. We haven't had it for New Jedi Order. We haven't had it for Filoni's movie or Mangold's movie. So that could be. And Star Wars are going into this area now of doing standalone movies, while the Mandoverse stuff is going on elsewhere. So there is a chance that Taika is next. So maybe if I don't know if they're going to announce movies, maybe I don't even know if they would announce a movie, because they've got the next 2 years sort of figured out, with Starfighter and Mando and Grogu. Um, Ahsoka's still filming, so I don't think we'll see much of anything. Maybe Mando and Grogu will do something there. They'll show the trailer again, for those in the room. I don't think we'll get that trailer like online until December.
yeah.
I think
I said
it's come with Avatar.
I don't think we'll get it till next year.
I think it's coming with Avatar,
Oh,
personally.
it'll
Um,
be in the trailers at the beginning of Avatar. I see what you're saying.
yeah, I don't know if they'll keep it exclusive to see in Avatar,
Sure.
as they did
Probably.
with the Avatar trailer recently, right? You had to go and watch Fantastic Four to see it for the first few days. Um, but no, there's movement on the production side of things, so
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Taika thing shouldn't really be ignored, because again, New
Taika,
Jedi Order was originally supposed to be the first movie to happen.
yeah, but Taika works on Taika time, so who knows, right? That's the hard thing.
Yeah, but Taika is in a different place now than he was 5 years ago when they announced his movie. Um, they've gone through a bunch of writers with Taika on that movie. They have one now, the guy that did Poor Things with Emma Stone. Um, and in his career, he's taken a hit. There was a time in Taika's career where Star Wars needed him more than he needed Star Wars.
I see. Yeah.
Taika now needs Star Wars more than Star Wars needs him.
Ah,
He's on a downward trajectory in his career at the moment.
yeah.
His last film didn't do well. His new film was supposed to be this year with Jenna Ortega. It was wrapped last spring 2024. I was hoping to be in the festival circuit, but it's not on there. and a lot of the projects he has been trying to get off the ground, he can't. Like some of them have fallen wayside. So Taika isn't as busy as he was in the past. So Taika's biggest win as a director was arguably Thor Ragnarok, and if
Well, I
Taika
think he did. He got a lot of accolade over Jojo Rabbit.
he did, but I'm on about on a commercial standpoint.
Right, right.
So if Taika wants to become like commercially viable once again, his greatest asset that he has right now on his docket is Star Wars. If he can
Yeah.
make a good Star Wars movie, again, he has a really talented writer on that project with him. He could, make a big splash and open up a lot more doors again for him, because
Yeah.
a lot of the projects he's trying to make at the moment aren't even at studios. He's trying to get studios to buy the package.
Yeah. But yeah,
So,
I love you bring that up. I
mhm,
absolutely love it because we get so focused on Star Wars, and there was a question earlier. Jedi Geek is just rapid firing questions, really,
right,
really good questions. But there was a question earlier about how many of the announced movies will actually get made, and
right,
this happens at studios all the time. I mean, they fund a movie and then they pull the plug, or all kinds of stuff like that happens. Or a movie will move from one studio to another. Right? They'll buy the rights from each
yeah,
other. This stuff moves around all the time. Lucasfilm and Marvel are a little different in that they're not trading in and out other stuff, but they're absolutely consistent in things get announced, they don't get made. They get announced and they don't get
hmm
made. Or things that we never hear of all of a sudden percolate up to the top.
hmm
Just the way the industry works. And so Taika's got these scripts. He's floating them around, just like George did for Star Wars. He's floating them around different studios. Hey, are you interested? Nobody at this point is. You're saying nobody's
yeah. It's
taking the team.
because I think if this was Taika a few years ago, people would have picked up those packages a lot quicker than they are now.
Mm-hmm.
He's been trying to get the Incal made for a few years. Um, he's obviously now he's trying to get a Judge Dredd movie made.
Oh,
Um, Akira was a movie he was supposed to do with Warner Brothers, but that's fallen wayside, and Warner Brothers allowed the rights to lapse. So that's no longer happening. So that's what I mean. So Taika's in a position right now where his next movie is called Clara and the Sun, starring Jenna Ortega and Amy Adams. Um,
oh.
it's it's a smaller movie, so I think Taika's gonna attempt to go back to the thing that made him. He's making smaller movies like What We Do in the Shadows and Hunt for the Wilder People.
Mm-hmm.
If you can get any critical acclaim from that and help his career, then if not, like you said, the Star Wars. If he wants to make a big commercial splash, Star Wars is probably the way for him to go, and he's maybe reinvesting all of his efforts.
I love it.
Um, but the other one
Well,
I think is closer out of the ones that's announced is maybe Mangold. Um,
but Mangold just said he's going to work on this other stuff, and there are
yeah,
people. I mean, Marvel and Star Wars, Lucasfilm are put on hold.
yeah, he's
Both.
he's just sold a package with a movie he's going to write and direct with Timothy Chalamet
Yeah.
to Paramount.
Yeah.
He might be trying to squeeze that one in beforehand because,
Yeah.
again, even if his Star Wars movie is years away.
Years away. I agree. I agree.
So
Um,
yeah, so maybe it's that, and then the other one to look at is Simon Kinberg. Because his isn't just a standalone; his is a trilogy.
yeah.
So
Well, I look. I know that there's a lot of desire within Lucasfilm to make the Ray movies, right?
yeah,
Um, I know that they have. I don't know if I've said this publicly, so I won't say it. But there's other information that I have that indicates that is very, very high on their agenda to do.
hmm
I am not convinced Charmin Obaid-Chinoy will stay with it, and I'm not sure where it is. But there was a story recently that said they think that movie will start filming in
yeah.
2020.
It's not a great source though, right?
Right. It's right. Daniel RPK. What do you do with him? Right.
This is the questions I've been like getting is like this, where Jason and I are because of
Yeah.
the
Look, my
stories, the
friend,
quality of the stories that are going out, and it's like,
I know information. Like I know
yeah,
stuff, and I'm quite confident on the information I have.
yeah.
And I'm like, well, dude, you two, you're killing me. You're right, but I totally, I'm not mad at you. I just like,
No,
I,
but
I've been dying to hang out with you guys. I text Jason a couple times and said, "Hey, you got time just to talk?" So I appreciate you being here. Even if there's no tea to spill, right?
I said the reason I gave the Kit Bash name is so hopefully, it's like when the productions are filming in the UK or whatever, you see those little signs, those little
Yeah,
pink signs.
yeah,
So if you see any that looks like the word Kit Bash, you follow it. You
dude.
follow it, you might get lucky and find a Star Wars set.
That's a
Um,
huge story. That's a huge story, and I'm extremely grateful that you came here to share it.
I just hope people can go and find it. Like, you know what I mean?
Well,
If
and you gave us another one too, Firebird.
Firebird, yeah, Ahsoka.
That's
Um,
huge.
so
That's
yeah,
huge.
people, yeah, they won't necessarily say the word Kit Bash or Firebird. It would be like abbreviated,
Yeah, yeah.
So with um with the Acolyte,
PD, be something like that.
yeah, the Acolyte was Paradox, but on signs it was PDX. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So you might see
Andor,
KD, Kit Bash, or
yeah,
FB for Firebird, or something like that, right?
yeah, Andor went with its company name, which was E&D Industries. So you just see signs that said EE.
Yeah.
But yeah, so most of them do use the production name. So when Kenobi was filming on location, it would say JT, which stood for Joshua Tree. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah,
There you
I
go.
believe like Starfighter is going to do on location shooting, so
Okay.
that's supposed to start next month. Um, maybe it's a little bit later, but I was always told it's September.
Okay.
Um, like yeah, and
And some of the news coming with that is also, um, I think people want it to be something that maybe it's not.
mhm.
Um, and some of the stories around Starfighter, I don't trust. I just don't trust them at all. Right.
Well, which ones? Like
Um,
what's the stories?
uh, the story is about the guy and his nephew who are running from wherever, and he's got to get his nephew to someplace.
I think it might be about a guy and his nephew. Um,
I
I,
think so too.
yeah, I don't know. Like I know some things from that. So
I don't think it's a retelling of Mando Grogu. Is my point, right?
no, I don't think it's that either. No, but
Because that's what Mando Grogu was, right? It's
yeah,
it changed some of the names out and changed some of the situations out, but that was the story
hmm
um, of Mando Grogu. I just don't see them doing Starfighter as wolf and cub situation.
yeah, yeah.
I-
It's
Maybe I'm
I
wrong.
don't know.
I just don't trust it. I'm like, I'll
Yeah,
wait till I hear something more from you or Jason or somebody I trust a lot more, or perhaps an official release from Disney, right, or Lucasfilm. At this point, I'm like, meh, we'll see. It says Starfighter, and there's a great big ship on the stage at Celebration.
hmm
Um, I think it's about a starfighter.
hmm
I'm a pretty simple man. Uh,
yeah. Like I again, like I said, I heard something from that
yeah,
production that was like it makes me think that this could be something with the Force in it. Um, so I don't want to say what that is because it's
yeah,
too obvious.
yeah. I
But
can't say some stuff either. We just have to wait, right?
yeah, but
And I'll
it's
see if it
but yeah,
aligns with what
it's
I've heard.
yeah, but the casting is gonna really like pick up now.
Well,
Like
that's it.
you should start to see the casting like flood through. I know you've had um well, who was it? Matt
Oh,
Smith and Mia
yeah,
Goth as the
yeah.
villains.
Big deals.
Um, yeah, um, again, I think they've had I won't say a difficult process on the casting, but I think these weren't the top choices, you know. Jesse Plemons was the top choice for the male villain,
Ooh.
and obviously Mikey Madison for the female villain, I believe. There's been a couple of people who've apparently passed, like Greta Lee, and a couple of others. I think she passed on a cantina role or something. And there's rumors that Dacre Montgomery from Stranger Things, he played Billy in Stranger Things, might be part of this as well. But
Would he be
again,
the
a lot of
nephew, maybe?
sorry.
Would he be the nephew, maybe?
No. The nephew is way younger. Like when the rumor was that the nephew's about 15, I believe that's correct,
Okay.
based on who they're trying to cast,
Okay.
like the ages of the people that
Yeah.
they're taking in for auditions and stuff. I think so. So that's what leads me to believe a lot of the reporting on that previously could be correct. You know, based off of like some things I know about that production. So hopefully we get more on that soon. But yeah, like I said, production should start like in next month or something. So if they are going on location, there's a good chance that there's set photos. Hence why I've told people the name.
Yeah.
So
Look, I appreciate it, man. It's fantastic. Some of the information you just now shared is big, really big. And I think, we've only got a half dozen people here hearing it, but
well, that's good.
people,
They were here. They were here. You know, but
yeah, some people picking up on it, it'll spread. Our friend Star Wars Meg may be one who picks up on it, and then that'll get more legs. But got some rapid fire questions. If we can do this with real short, like 30-second answers, who do you think will replace Kathleen Kennedy? Look, there's all kinds of speculation about it. I don't have a solid answer to that.
I still think it's what when we wrote about it in when was that? That was like before Celebration.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I still think it's Dave and Carrie. I think it's a DC Studios type of situation where you have two people take over. You'd be Dave essentially is the James Gunn of it all, and Carrie back is the Peter Safran.
I think there's already a lady who is president of, like, she's co-president with Kathleen Kennedy. What's her name?
Mm-hmm.
It's very likely it could be her.
I don't think it's just Dave. For me, I think it's Dave and Carrie.
I got you. Next question. Do you have any news about the next Jedi game?
I think it's still a few years away. If I was guessing, it's 27, 28.
Do you think they'll bring back Mace Windu?
No, I don't think that's going to be anytime soon, but Samuel Jackson would obviously love it.
I would love it. Will Starfighter be like Top Gun?
Don't know. I would have said Rogue Squadron would be more Top Gun than Starfighter, but I'm not sure. I don't think Levy's the sort of director to deliver you a Top Gun. You know, if you look at his past work, anyway.
Excellent. How old's the nephew supposed to be? You already mentioned this. Late teens, right?
Yeah, he's a teenager. Yeah.
Do you think Disney Plus will close down if they stop making new Star Wars shows?
No, Disney have been on the slowdown on Marvel and Star Wars. They've been very vocal about it, and Bob Iger said like the things that gets Disney views these days, the theatrical release is finally arriving on the service. So when there's a big release such as Moana 2 or something like that, they see a jump in growth in subscribers. And they also credit the Hulu shows, the FX shows, so The Bear and Shogun and things of that nature as well, which, some of those shows are cheaper to produce, like The Bear. Then obviously something like Alien Earth was just released. Like, obviously it's too early to say how that's going to perform, but that's an expensive show.
I love that show so much.
The bear, yeah, I know you do.
And I have you to thank for all that you provided. Those
Hey,
hours.
Santa, Jason watched it and he enjoyed it. You know,
I'll never quit hazing you about making me watch that show. You misled me. You sent me down a wrong path.
no, I didn't, but the other thing as well with Disney Plus is it's merging into one app now, right? Hulu and Disney Plus will just
Right.
be Disney Plus. They're getting rid of the Hulu standalone app,
Yeah.
so that means all the Hulu subscribers will come over. So you'll see a jump in growth there. I also think we're going to get to a point where Disney stops reporting the numbers on Disney Plus in terms of subscribers, because Netflix has done that now. Like Netflix are going to stop, and I think we'll we won't know if there is growth or not on that service at some point. Um,
Yeah.
and Netflix is the leader in this market space, and anything
Well,
they do, all these other streams copy them. Like, oh, we're doing the password crackdown. Disney does it. HBO Max does it.
yeah. Well, in the last earnings report, the streaming service is profitable. So
Yeah.
they're not going to close down something that's giving them revenue, especially now that they're merging in Hulu, as you mentioned, Thronkill mentions. Yeah, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. In fact, by reducing these live action shows, and I emphasize the live action part,
Mm-hmm.
the budgets on those were just too big. There's
Mm-hmm.
no way around it, right? You can't spend the kind of money for Andor 2 or for the Acolyte. Do you know what the numbers are around Ahsoka season 2?
The budget? No, I think it's higher than the first season, but I think it's because of a lot of tax incentives in the UK.
Yeah, well, that's why they moved to the UK, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
incentives to go. So I just can't see the ROI to keep making live action shows. And so what happens is you spend less and you make more, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it just makes financial sense.
I think they'll do what they said, which is one Star Wars show, a Marvel series a year.
Yeah.
Live action.
Star Wars Obsession. Hey, he says, good to see you. Hope all's well and you enjoy Star Wars. Miss you, sir. We need to collab soon. Obsession, thank you so much for keep inviting me to your live streams. Please keep inviting me. But a lot of times it's in the evenings. I'm busy and I can't do anything. So I wish I could collab with you more. And I'd be happy to collab with you again. So let's see what else we got to get caught up on. Hope they really start detours. I would love to see it. I don't see any reason why they shouldn't at this point. But because they're done, right? It's not like there's any money to spend. They went and put the old droid series from the late 80s, the cartoon show from the late 80s, and the Ewok show from the late 80s. Why not put it on there the same way?
I think the reason would be that they don't think it's it's the quality that they want associated with the brand. With the old shows, with like Ewoks and like droids and stuff, that's part of the nostalgia and part of the history that's already occurred with Star Wars.
Good.
Detours, I just don't think we'll ever see it. I think the only time we'll ever see it somehow leaks online.
Yeah. Let me finish sharing some pictures here. I was sharing this trip to this unofficial galaxy that was here in Columbus, Ohio.
Is this the pictures of you in the trash compactor?
Yeah, I haven't
I saw
gotten to
those.
that one yet, but they're absolutely great. So there's the Anakin's desk and chair, and then this is an original script. This was here. A lot of this is just fan made stuff, but and I don't think I'm sharing. Let me share. Hold on. Share screen. One here happened. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's the original script. This is from David Prowse, Star Wars screenplay, and this was, I can't remember which version this is. It says David Prowse's 1977, initially given a choice between Vader and Chewbacca, and he chose the villain. It says George Lucas said David brought a physicality to Darth Vader, essential for the character. So there was his original screenplay that Dave Prowse had, and then let's see. Oh, here I am with a. It keeps disappearing. Oh, hold on. I know what's going on. It's when I share the screen. It's not sharing the whole. There we go. Let's do this. Every time I close a window, it like goes away. Here we go. Again, these are fan-made things. So,
Yeah.
somebody built this. It's fantastic, and they built a lot of impressive things. This is Hu Yang there, right? Our lightsaber guy, and his head actually moved, and it would the eyes kind of blinked and things like that. So somebody spent a lot of time recreating this droid. They did a nice job. Then and a full size Xwing. Like, who makes that in their backyard? Pretty impressive.
It is.
You see Chewie and stuff back there in the background. And I took this picture. We've got Jackson in the background, R2, and just the scale of this X-Wing is amazing. And then they had more stuff with Jackson, a bunch of comics with Jackson and stuff like that. Here's cool characters. The BB-8 actually is a full operational remote control droid. So they can wheel it around and it can interact and stuff like that. They just had it sitting there when I was there. Here's some more production shooting scripts for this is for Return of the Jedi. Let me do them in order. Here we go. This is early file copy for Star Wars: The Adventures of Luke Starkiller, as taken from the Journal of the Whills. This was fourth draft. You can see on the cover here from what is now New Hope. This was fourth draft, January 1st, 1976. The original script. Pretty cool, right?
Damn.
Then they also had this script. And I'll scroll down. This is from Empire Strikes Back. And this one was a lot of fun. If you zoom in and you read it, this is between Luke and Yoda back when he's on Dagobah. But it says Luke and Creature. It's all of Yoda's lines are marked as Creature.
Yeah.
He hadn't. Here you can see Luke says, "Will it take long to get there?" And the Creature says, "Not far, not far. Be patient. No, you will see. Why with you become a Jedi?" Pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
And then this is the last one here. This was from Return of the Jedi. An original script. And here you can see here's a line from 3PO. Anyway, it's cool stuff. Actually, with writing on it and all of that. And then here you go. This is what you were talking about.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about.
So we got the trash compactor here with the Dianoga there, and then so this is my friend Jeff. He was doing and then and then my friend Fred, who's a longtime Star Wars fan, going way back there. So we took this picture, and then they let us take a second one, and that's where I went full in. It's fantastic. Just so much fun. They're going to take a picture there in the trash compactor.
Fred looks like he's modeling that one.
He's pushing the wall.
But he's serving. Look at his face. He's waiting for that camera.
Yeah, he needs to get a little more into it there. It's good fun. We had a great time going there. Take a picture. I just shared a few of the things that we saw. was so much fun. And if anybody's close to Columbus, Ohio,
Mm-hmm.
or it'll move. It'll go on to another
Yeah.
town after this. It's only here for a couple more weeks, and then it'll be moving on. But it was a lot of fun to go to. A lot of old toys and stuff that people kept. So you can see the original toys that were released back in the 80s and all of that. So it had a lot of fun. Just, Star Wars fans hanging out, as we said before, like in the real world. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like and Fred is not a fan of the sequels whatsoever. Right? He's
Mm-hmm.
and Jeff is more of a casual fan. He had the toys when he was a kid, and he had a great time. And look, I do this YouTube channel, and I talk about Star Wars incessantly, and I love the sequels. But here you got three guys just hanging out, being dudes, loving Star Wars, and that's what it should be more about, rather than some of the nonsense we get online.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, anything else? I've got this this model that I've been building. I don't know if you've seen this. I've been working on this Xwing. It's cardboard
Mm-hmm. That's pretty
ship.
cool.
I'm going to get back into doing that. But anything else that you want to share with us?
Not about any of other productions at the moment, no. But a lot of the Ahsoka stuff that's out there is real. Like, you know,
Well, let me bring this up since you mentioned Ahsoka, and it ties with information I know. And as I know information and it aligns with things that have gotten out, I don't mind kind of leaning into it, right? So there was an announcement that Hayden canceled an appearance because he was going to film for Ahsoka season 2.
yeah,
And in celebration, Dave Filoni said there's going to be a lot more Anakin in Ahsoka season 2 than in season 1.
yeah,
And then there were the rumors about Ewan being in it and then not in it. And then what else? Oh, Ariana Greenblatt. There's stuff about her being in it. I can say, and this is just a natural fan could figure this out from the information you
right.
have.
Yeah,
It isn't like insider. I'm revealing something that somebody told me secretly, but it aligns to stuff that I know. Right? So
yeah,
season 1 ended with Balin standing on the outstretched arm of the Mortis father.
Yeah.
If you had not watched Clone Wars or Rebels, you probably don't know who those statues are.
absolutely not. No.
You can hear lots of people talk about it, but just like the old mall thing that happened, you'll be like, "What is going on? Is this the Lord of the Rings tie over or what?"
Yeah.
No, these are actual characters. Well, they need to tell that story so people know who they are. They need to give us some context. Like, who are these fellas? Right? Or
Right.
the daughter, right?
Yeah.
And they've talked about flashback scenes. We put those together. Right? We need to know who those are. And we've heard about Ariana. We've heard about Anakin. We've heard about perhaps Ewan. And you think, I'll bet they're doing a flashback to, in some fashion, to tell the story of Mortis.
Right.
In Mortis, who's there? Anakin, Ahsoka, Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Does it match? Does it match? Yes, it does. I think that's true. I think we're going to see a flashback. I think we're going to see Ewan. I think we're going to see Hayden and Ariana in those roles. Plus, we've heard rumors of what's his name, the voice actor for Maul,
Sam Witwer.
Sam Witwer. We've heard rumors that he's going to be involved. Well, guess who else is involved in that story arc? Right, the son. Sam Witwer does the voice. based on what I know and
Yeah.
what you can just naturally deduce, I would say all of
Mhm.
that's true. All of
I
it.
don't disagree. Like I said, I heard Ahsoka stuff really early on, and I think a lot of it's out there now. So yeah, I think people can put two and two together on a lot of that.
Yeah. Yeah. I completely think that's what's happening. A lot of people are thinking there's Clone Wars flashbacks to like battles and stuff. Maybe. I don't know that.
Hmm.
But I think it could. But I do know that it makes sense to retell the Mortis arc in some fashion. I don't expect it to be beat for beat. I don't expect it to be, the entire story, but
Yeah,
some retelling in some fashion.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
don't know if
No,
it'll happen like in the world between worlds at one of those portals and they're looking through and they see it. I don't know if it's Ahsoka retelling it to like Sabine or something like that. I don't know. It's a dream that Ahsoka's having in the middle of the night. I don't know. All right.
hmm
It's
yeah,
gonna
no.
happen.
Like I said, I don't know specifics, but a lot of the stuff you heard, I think I heard too. So
Yeah. 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 So there you go. That's what I know about Ahsoka. You don't disagree. We're on the
no,
same page.
pretty much.
All
Right.
right.
Well, I've got a boogie anyway because I had up until the hour free.
Thank you,
So
sir.
I'm gonna boogie. Hopefully, if people gotten around in the next few months, they can look for little pink signs, and hopefully they get to see something cool.
Awesome. Thank you,
All right.
Bespin. And stay in touch, my friend.
Okay. Bye, stand up. Bye,
Bye bye.
guys.
Thanks. All right. That's Bespin Bulletin. As you heard, he's alive and well. He's doing great. We got some great information from him. He shared us some information that hasn't been out at this point. I think some really big news to look for in the future. So amazing, amazing, my friend. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Absolutely amazing. So now I just got to catch up with Jason and I talk to him on the phone. Jason doesn't have to come in here. Jason, if you catch us later, like wait, you have my number. I have yours. I text you back and forth. Let's have a phone call sometime. Just catch up. It'd be great. I want to share with you. I don't think we're going to get back to the model making, but I mentioned before that I've redone the studio a little bit, and I promised a little bit of an enhancement to the whole ship building process here. And I replaced the camera, and I want to share this with you. You can see now. Here's the the model, and just the amount of detail I can share with you now. This camera is so much better than the other. So there's the engines on the back. You can see all the workings on the top. There's R2. You can see R2 there. Right, look at the amount of detail I can share with you now. We don't have the same troubles with focusing and refocusing. I can get a lot of more of the model on there, right? So I think the next time we get into building this, I'll be able to we'll be able to follow along a lot better. And then likewise, like you can see the book here, we've got the pieces, and if I share with you, like look, you can see what the parts are. You can read what I can see is this focus is so much better. We can see what parts I'm supposed to include or not include. We're going to be doing the wings the next time. You can see we'll be doing the what do they call that? The uh, port side of the ship. But there you go. And you can see that the guns. We're going to attach the wings to. Actually, it's the starboard side of the ship right there. There you go. We'll be doing that the next time. So I think this camera is going to help a lot more. The setup's a lot better. I've got it on an articulated arm that sits. If I go back here, right, that articulated arm sits just above my head, right, and I can move it around if I need to. But I think it's really good right there. I think the lighting's a lot better. You can see the color, the focus, everything. So next time we get into building this ship, should be great. What else do we have to share? I have a Mike Porter dad joke. Now, Mike Porter, he contacted me. He's taking his mom to the hospital today, so he's not with us today, but on the stream. But Micah took just a tiny liberty with your dad joke today. But I think it flows just a little bit better for my purposes. But make sure you're following Mike Porter on Twitter. That you're following him on X. He publishes a dad joke every day, and sometimes the dad jokes are Star Wars, sometimes they're Marvel, sometimes they're just about daily life. And Mike Porter's a tremendous, wonderful human being. You can find his Twitter X account in the description of this video. Every video I do, Mike Porter's Twitter link is right there. So make sure you go follow him on Twitter. We even got a bot. If you put in exclamation point, chosen pun, just one word, all lowercase, exclamation point, chosen pun, Mike Porter's Twitter account will come up there as well. So the question, the Mike Porter dad joke of the day says, what's the new name of the Mos Eisley Cantina in The Mandalorian? So Mos Eisley Cantina, they're on Tatooine. You remember from A New Hope, you'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy, right? And let me end this poll. I see the poll there. We have 56 saying you'd rather see another, or 56%, another episode of The Mandalorian. Neither. The story's played out. The 33% and 11% saying a trilogy. So the Mos Eisley Cantina, they're on Tatooine, the wretched hive of scum and villainy. In the Mandalorian, they go back there and they go into the cantina, and it's going through a bit of a makeover. Right? It's had a major change, and I'll bet you didn't know they gave it a brand new name. Right, the brand new name of the Mos Eisley Cantina is called "These Are the Droids We Are Looking For." You know, when the droids went in A New Hope, they said, "Oh, we don't allow their kind in here." And then afterwards, at the same time, whatever, and Obi-Wan Kenobi, he tells the stormtroopers, "These are not the droids you're looking for." And so now, of course, the droids are permitted in the Mos Eisley Cantina, and they're prevalent. They're everywhere, and they are the droids you're looking for. Thank you for that, Mike Porter. I appreciate the dad joke. Off to Santa School this weekend. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. I'm excited. Bespin, once again, thank you so much for coming. Obsession, good to see you. Sabersmith, thank you so much. Jedi Geek, all the questions, just tremendous questions today. Thank you for all of your questions. And we had, of course, Karen Fitzsimmons. We had Star Wars Fitz there giving me a hard time. Who else did we have? There's somebody else that I think I've missed in the chat. Let's see, who else did I miss? I think that's the bulk of it. Who have been in the chat here today. Thank you so much. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Look forward to coming together again sometime in the future. Take care, you all. Make sure that you're interacting with people outside of the internet. And until next time, my friends, Merry Christmas, and may the Force be with you always. Bye-bye.